The first day was just, I think I didn't believe it. So I thought I'm so mature. मैं तो deal भी कर लिया. 1 week had passed and it hit then. And then I just went into a really bad spiral. Like I just locked myself in my room for 1.5 months and all.
Because when I met him first and we were shooting for Qala, he used to remember his father feeling very sad.
Back then, like, he used to shoot so much that sometimes he'd be gone for a long shooting schedule, and eventually he'd come back. So when it just had happened, I had somehow convinced myself that he'll come back after the shooting schedule. And then it slowly started, I started realizing that this is an indefinite shooting schedule and he's not coming back. So bro, I just lost my best friend.
I feel as human beings, you relate to grief. I used to get angry at him because I'm like, I've just given the audition in the morning. Why are you thinking that they're going to give me a phone call in the afternoon? I mean, things take time. So those phone calls don't come. But now when I'm meeting him during the promotion of the film, I see that he remembers him in a happy way.
So everyone, welcome to Bollywood Bubble. Swastika ma'am, I feel there's a kind of a connection between you and Babil in a way that both of you lost your fathers around the same time.
Yeah.
Just a month gap, and they both had faced battle cancer, and they both were so mavericks in their fields.
Yeah.
So did that provided you a little bit of relatability with him on that kind of level?
I feel as human beings, you relate to grief in different ways, but you relate to grief.
Yeah.
And loss of parents, I have lost both my parents. So loss of parents is something you struggle for the rest of your life. And we hear people say, and we also say it often, that time heals everything. I don't think time heals anything. I feel you just get used to the grief, and you also kind of find your path to handle it in a way. It's difficult. I mean, it's every time, I'm promoting Qala, or people are talking about it. Every time this keeps going in my mind that my parents couldn't see the work. Because since 2015, when I was auditioning, and I've even auditioned after I finished shooting for Qala. I had given 11 auditions and I got rejected in all of them. So, and I have decided that after Qala releases, I'm not going to audition for anybody or anything in my life. I'm just going to send them the film to watch it. I said, this is my show reel, so you just watch the film, and I'm not auditioning for anything anymore. But I remember my father used to call me and ask, what happened? Have they called back? As parents, they want you to work and to follow your dream or do better work or whatever you as a child want to do. And I used to get angry at him because I'm like, I've just given the audition in the morning. Why are you thinking that they're going to give me a phone call in the afternoon? I mean, things take time. So those phone calls don't come. And he will never know what the kind of good work I'm doing here or the appreciation that's coming my way. So one day doesn't go by that I don't think about it, or I don't think about how his reactions would be, or because he was an actor who had worked for almost 60 years. So, everything I have learned, he was the first teacher and he was at home. So he could correct me, like see my work and correct me every now and then. And I just keep thinking that I cannot have discussions about my work or my takes and how the scenes are happening. I can't have that discussion with him. So the one person with whom I could converse about my work space is gone. Yeah. But you kind of live with it, and you kind of think of him in a happy way. And I have seen the same thing happening with Babil, because when I met him first and we were shooting for Qala, he used to remember his father in a feeling very sad. But now when I'm meeting him during the promotion of the film, I see that he remembers him in a happy way. So I can see that difference has happened, you know. That's how it will be. I mean, we remember our parents who have gone, not always grieving and feeling sad and sulking. So I just shared this with a friend also, that, you know, I'm seeing Babil. The grief has changed. It's not that it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you relate to people who, in many ways, and grief is, I read it somewhere and I really think it's so true, that grief is love that has nowhere to go.
Wow, so beautiful.
Beautiful.
So I read it somewhere and that has stuck with me, and I kind of think about it every day, that how true it is, that, you know, grief is just love with nowhere to go. You know, I don't know, it just might sound selfish, but the more loss you have in your life or you experience it, I think it just helps you to become a better actor. Yeah, it's like a selfish thing to say. I didn't want my parents to die because I want to become a better actor. But I know while doing Qala, there were scenes where I really needed to push myself, and I could just think of my father, and it happened like in a second. And I think I've just thought of him so many times that I don't get reactions out of it nowadays anymore. Like if I think of him now, I've overused him so much in my mind that I'm like, अरे ना कुछ नहीं हो रहा है यार, मतलब I don't feel sad anymore. So,
But Babil, like I know कि मतलब you will also relate to a lot of that. But for you, how has the kind of the stages of dealing with the grief of him passing have kind of progressed, and the evolution of it has been since then till now?
I think when it first happened, the first day was just, I think I didn't believe it. So I thought I'm so mature. मैंने तो deal भी कर लिया. Okay, in the first day, I'm a child. Okay, and the next day, just subtle feelings of it. Like it wasn't 1 week. 1 week had passed and it hit then. And then I just went into a really bad spiral. Like I just locked myself in my room for 1.5 months and all.
yeah, I feel it doesn't hit you when it happens.
Yeah,
You know, you're going with the flow. So many people come and go. So many rituals are happening. 1 week or 2 weeks or 10 days pass, and then when the silence comes back in the house,
exactly.
the people are not coming anymore. Phone calls have stopped. Then you realize what has happened, and you know that's like the shock hits then. It's
And
not when really it happens. You don't feel it then.
And it's like one of those things, you know, like you get up to tell Baba something, or you get up to like message Baba, and then you realize in these subtle ways that he's not there anymore. You know what I mean? And back then, like he used to shoot so much that sometimes he'd be gone for a long shooting schedule, and eventually he'd come back. So when it just had happened, I had somehow convinced myself that he'll come back after the shooting schedule. And then it slowly started, I started realizing that this is an indefinite shooting schedule and he's not coming back. So bro, I just lost my best friend, like my only friend that, you know, I laughed with and I joked around with and I was myself, completely truthfully myself with. So it was just devastating on a level that I can't really put into words. But because of our friendship and the bond we had and the evolution that we took part with in the evolution that we went through together, the memory and the nostalgia of that, it keeps me positive, you know, and it gives me courage to just keep going. And also when somebody so close to you dies, you realize that all of this is temporary, you know, you're going to die one day. And because we make it such a permanent issue living life, कि ये तो चलती रहेगी भाई, ये तो खत्म ही नहीं होगी, and then suddenly you realize कि अभी खत्म हो जाएगी. So it gave me the courage to just do what I want. That's why I just stepped into acting, because I wanted to act for so long, but I was just scared because of who Baba was. And then I was like, man, I'm going to die.
But I'm sure he has given you a lot of courage and a lot of confidence to pull yourself out of this and kind of go in the direction that he would have wanted you to.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you are doing that with the work you are doing. And thank you so much for giving me this chance to have this conversation with you, for sharing a little part of your life with me. Thank you so much for that. And
Thank you.
wishing all of you lots and lots of love and luck for everything you do in future.
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Babil.
Hi, this is Triptii Dimri.
Namaskar, this is Swastika Mukherjee.
Hello, this is Anvita Dutt.
And you're watching us Bollywood Bubble.